Welcome, everyone. We are now live. Welcome. We have three amazing AI native hospitality company founders and CEOs who are not just changing the hospitality game, they're actually reinventing it with AI. So please welcome Jessie Fischer of GuestOS, Vaughn Davis, impeccably dressed as always, of hypernimbus.ai, love the hat, and my good friend Khalid Ladha from Rumi. And we're going to start first with Jessie. We're going to hop right in here. Now, Jessie, you literally grew up in hospitality from your family's 12-room lodge to 1,000 plus rooms. You manage term rentals, you manage housing for folks. So you've probably done every role there is in hospitality and then some, including back of house and front of house. Start with you, and I'm going to ask each of you the same question. When you think about the pain you're solving with GuestOS and how you're using AI to solve it, could you share, and for everybody, just 1 to 2 minute answers so we can keep it rolling and cover a lot of ground. So Jessie, what is the pain are you using AI to solve it?
Yeah, thanks for kicking us off, Stuart. Coming straight from a car in Los Angeles. So yes, the pain point we solve, is staff waste time answering guest questions, and we built AI teammates to handle those instantly in multiple languages. So as you mentioned, my family's been in the hotel business for the last 50 years, and I've worked every part of operations. And regardless of the type of hotel, the same problem continues to show up. Staff answering the same repetitive questions. And so GuestOS is handling 80% of these questions, the first point of contact. And we build AI teammates that are trained on your brand, that are hospitable and friendly. And that's really been the pain point that we're able to solve so quickly.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jessie. Now, Vaughn, you're this unicorn. You literally started and worked your way up from Bell to GM of the Dream Hotel, now part of Hyatt in West Hollywood's the CEO of Relevant Hospitality. And uniquely, you have this, mix of deep operational leadership experience with, which is unusual, really tech innovation disruptive on the bleeding edge. Would love to get your take. What is the problem you're solving, and how are you using AI uniquely to solve it? And I need to point out that Jessie is literally traveling in the travel industry. So kudos for you being in transit, so to speak, from this. I love it. So Vaughn, to you, and how are you solving this pain uniquely, and what is the pain you're solving, please?
Yeah, we're solving quite a few challenges within the hospitality industry. And as you alluded to, Stuart, I started from the ground up. The fragmented tech stack would be number one for us. I never could understand why my front desk agent had to use 10 to 12 different applications in order to check a guest in and do their day-to-day functions. And then the other one for us is, we understand there's smart technology, but now with artificial intelligence and the models that are available, we have the ability to take it to the new frontier. So we're focused on getting you data-driven insights and actionable opportunities for your team to work with an AI to go out and autonomously update your rates, check guests in, review any historical data about that guest, and make proactive recommendations for what their stay should look like and feel like. So we're answering quite a few challenges. We're pretty excited about this, and here at HyperNimbus, we're getting ready to go to market at the end of the year, and our first product will be Foundation, which is a revenue management product.
Super exciting. And I've had the pleasure of knowing both Vaughn and Jessie, as well as Khalid, for many years from the early days. And they've all been just incredible innovators throughout their careers, and especially with the startups now. So Khalid, you background from Dueto in revenue management, going way back, Snap Travel, which became Super. And one of the things I love about Khalid, like the other two founders here as well, is you really think kind of non-linearly, not just incrementally, but completely different about systems. And I know some of the things that you've looked at, including, blockchain and other areas. So you're really more of a fintech using AI, but tell us about the problem you're solving and the pain, and how you're using AI, even if AI itself, I think, Vaughn and Jessie, it's both kind of front and center in the product, whereas in your case, it's helping and enable a very disruptive approach to the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Stuart, for having me. I'm Cal. It's great to meet you all. I think for Roomy, one of the ways that we use AI that has been most impactful is in underwriting models. So we've talked a little bit about Roomy and where we end up focusing our time and effort, which is directly with owners to make healthier, more profitable hotels. So we do that by purchasing room nights by the thousands every year, charging no credit card fees, and giving them a chance to hedge market risk, occupancy risk, and things of that nature. So every time we make those decisions on a market level, on a star class level, on a demand level, there are a ton of variables we have to make our way through. So how do we use AI is we scale ourselves, we scale our mentality, and we scale our documentation. The end result is a platform that can do this work for us and would have never been possible if we didn't have, Claude or OpenAI models at our tailwinds to not only do this in a cost-effective way, but do this in a way that we can service tens or hundreds of hotels in a single month versus knife fighting, one hotel by one hotel, which for a venture-backed startup like ourselves is death when scale is the name of the game.
Excellent. Thanks, Khalid. Jessie, why don't you share a little bit of what are some of the tools you're using and what are you most amazed by with AI and how you're using it and the impact and power it's having in your particular business?
Yeah, we use large language models, speak recognition tools, and a custom knowledge base. I'm most amazed by a lot of things, but the speed are what stand out. So we combine all of these things, and it's just really able to present a hospitable and empathetic AI teammate, which that's there's a lot of voice AI out there, but the continuous feedback we get from customers and people who hear and interact with our AI teammates, so both staff and guests, is that they love it and they want one for themselves. So I'd say that's some great feedback we're getting. And then another thing, similar to what Vaughn alluded to, a lot of hotels have 10 to upwards of technology stack, and it's fragmented. And so really just building with first principles, starting with AI native, starting clean, we can get live in one day and not a long setup cycle. So we can get live quickly, prove value fast, and then scale from there. And it's been amazing to see. We've used our technology to power the AI hotlines for the Los Angeles fires earlier this year, helping thousands of people get access to critical information. In times when the traditional systems, people weren't answering and they were not updated. So I'm amazed by that as well.
Yeah, I love it. I even think there are a lot of sectors where I could deal with a little less human of an experience with my phone company or cable company. I'm really blown away by the empathetic, really human kind of support, and information that Jessie's product provides. Vaughn, even before the call, you were talking about some of the tools and, backstage we were chatting and can you go a little deeper on the tools you're using specifically and what's most amazed you as far as what's been most powerful and impactful for your business, which I realize super excited. You mentioned revenue is kind of the first area, but you're really talking about the entire operating system over time of a native AI built one for hospitality. So can you share that with our audience?
Yeah, we are still in baby stealth, so I'll be careful. I don't have anyone here to check me if I say anything I shouldn't say. So here we go. Under the hood a little bit. We decided not to utilize any of the big four that are on the market on the back end. We built our own custom architecture, our own AI agents, our own framework, our own custom workflows. I might be letting the cat out of the bag here, but there will be an announcement coming out shortly with some benchmarks. And if you know what I'm saying about benchmarks, you'll understand what we've created on the back end. And I'm really proud of our team. The reason being it being in hospitality and starting from the ground up and having a computer science background allowed me from first principles to really build this out at scale. And under the hood, we are really answering the challenges within the industry through our intrinsic understanding as subject matter experts in every specific field of the industry. We have an incredible advisory board. We have an amazing team, So we built everything pretty much from scratch. Our Symphony works in tandem with hotel operators. So this will be your best friend that'll be working 24/7, 365, will ask you questions, and will continue to grow and learn from you. So full-blown custom architecture, full-blown custom agents, and it's been pretty exciting to build this on the back end. Not an easy task, but we call it internally Project Save Hospitality. And the vision here is a long-term vision that you can deploy this product at your hotels, and it will support you in ensuring that you have a healthy asset and operations.
Awesome. Khalid, same question. And can you also take the flip side, which I'll then kick to everybody else? So, what are the tools you're using? What's been most amazing or impactful in how you're using AI? And then also, if you could continue, what areas in AI aren't quite there? What are those constraints and how do you attack around those? So those three.
Sure. Not surprisingly, I think hallucinations continue to be something that comes up. These systems are phenomenal at sounding authoritative, and sometimes it takes a person with context and knowledge to understand that maybe X plus Y did not equal Z, in fact, and we need to start from first principles. In our case, I am very partial to Anthropic and Claude. I've found that for coding, especially, it has been the premier outlet for us. We are backed by some amazing venture firms, and when we built our demo, me and my co-founder, who is an API architecture engineer, but not really an engineer per trade, we built the entire thing end to end on Replit. We deployed it, the front end, we structured it, told our story, and could build this high fidelity prototype with Claude and Replit to actually close a sizable funding round. So I think that was a good example of seeing that in the day-to-day for entrepreneurs, whether you're in travel and hospitality or otherwise. The limit is really your hunger, ambition, and willingness to think outside of the box. I think the last thing I would add is a real example of how we use this is with Claude. And I'll give an example of when I was at Duetto. This was a venture-backed startup that had an entire team dedicated to data quality. We can now use models, as long as we've provided the right context in advance, to essentially structure when we take a fragmented system of record of bookings from the PMS, CRS, RMS, et cetera, we can now normalize, structure, and utilize that data in a way that takes 10, 20 minutes, where it might have taken 10 or 20 hours historically of a full-time employee's time, right? So the knowledge and ability is scaling, the speed is scaling. It's our job now as founders to use these tailwinds to our advantage.
Excellent. And, Jessie, from your perspective, some of the constraints, how you tack around it, and we're going to assume that the hallucinations you're talking about were AI driven and not that ayahuasca trip you might have taken or maybe didn't in Peru. So
it was the AI, I promise.
It was the AI. Great. Jessie, what about you? Where have you hit kind of roadblocks and how do you tack around that for now, even if there may be, quick improvements coming in the next 6 to 12 months, right?
Yeah, AI needs clean, structured data, and we manage that simple knowledge, facts and fact details, smart handoffs, and fast updates. So all of that means when we train our AIs, we really train them as if they are a human, onboarding them. And so when we talk about what knowledge and how we train the brain, Dan knows this because we trained Jet together, and a human, you're not going to send them 5 paragraphs and expect them to easily, filter through something that might contradict another piece that you did. You have to be super clean, very detailed, and the more structured the data, and of course the quality of data, it is really important. And I think what we're seeing across the board is there needs to be a lot of updates on company websites that they don't know that something is out of date until they talk to their AI, and they're like, oh, well, this actually isn't up to date anymore, and I'll locate it exactly on their website and say, okay, well, this is where we need to update it. So getting able to give accurate information and helping teams recognize that And then also, there's still a human in the loop. So when something happens, we transfer, we operate as a phone. So we have all these different departments. If they need to speak to someone or it recognizes tone, it'll transfer straight to that department. So we've seen, as you alluded to before, we've seen our customers completely move over, cancel their current phone system and move to GuestOS because we're giving real-time insights. If there's a flood or a road closure or a last-minute shuttle change, they just update it in their knowledge base, and that's communicated to the guest. So.
Excellent. I could borrow some of that tone stuff at home when I'm about to say something stupid that I'll regret. So I'm waiting for that predictive AI to help me out. But Vaughn, how about yourself? Any, whether constraints or just how you tack around that? It's moving quickly. So, how do you build around a moving target? As well, any thoughts to share, please? Any advice?
Yeah, I think, the team that we have has allowed us to build a very unique architecture on the back end, background in healthcare. So one of the number one things we discussed initially before deciding to build everything, essentially from scratch was we can't afford hallucinations. This is business. Forward for the AI to try to be creative when you're asking it for a data-driven insight to help you make a decision that's going to impact your bottom line. And their healthcare background really supported putting in the guardrails and the parameters to allow our models not to do that. Our AI will tell you, and it's been the craziest thing to see in some of the simulations and testing. It'll say, I don't have that information. Please provide the P&L from 2019, please provide the balance sheet, please provide, the PACE report, whatever it is that it needs, it'll tell you. Then it'll analyze that information and then give you an output. So for us, we took that very seriously, and we will continue to ensure that our AI does not hallucinate and give you just random advice and feedback. Outside of that, it's, compute right now. That's going to be one of the biggest challenges for us. The cost of compute and just ensuring that we can continue to train and build these models with, our vision intact. That's been the biggest challenge, but we've found, I can't share this, but we've found ways to reduce the cost based on some stuff that I can't say publicly.
Excellent. All right. This is going to be the 20-second answers for each of these. So tell us about the key people, roles, and AI experts in your company and how you organize around it. Khalid, 20 seconds, go.
Yeah, I couldn't do this without my co-founder, Duncan Hall. He has really built AI native workflows into everything we're doing. I think ultimately when we think about Rumi Finance and where we're going, we're hiring young, hungry people that have an urge to learn. So if you are hungry and you want to learn, you're in the right place in industry.
Excellent. Jessie, 20 seconds, key roles, experts, et cetera. How do you organize around it?
We have a team built with domain expertise and also AI builders. And so having both of that, both hospitality and world-class talent, focus on the real guest journey is really necessary to our success.
All right, Vaughn, 20 seconds. Stick the land.
Oh my gosh, former NASA, former JPL, MIT, NYU, Cornell, absolute rock stars, Silicon Valley background, deep tech, quant. I mean, I'm grateful.
Best talent, different industries. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's 15 to 20 seconds each. Tell us the biggest piece of advice for others, founders, et cetera. If you had one piece of advice, what would it be? Khalid, go.
You have to believe in yourself. You are a founder and you are on a crazy, wild, wacky journey. Self-belief comes from within. Don't doubt yourself.
Jessie?
Find a group of people who believe in your vision before the world does.
Love that. Vaughn?
Build the Avengers.
Excellent. Mine was going to be Soylent Green, it's people, but that's an old reference. Okay, final thoughts, 15 to 30 seconds. Who should get in touch with you if they are facing what challenge? Khalid?
If you own a hotel and you want to improve your NOI, literally call me. We will buy your rooms by the thousands and charge you no credit card fees for the privilege.
So cash flow up front. Love that. Jessie?
If your team is constantly answering repetitive, does not speak every language, get in touch with us. We have hotels, tour operators, and even public sector businesses on our platform.
Excellent. Vaughn, bring us home.
If workforce development is a challenge and you're having a hard time finding individuals in the industry, feel free to reach out to us. We'll save you upwards to 50% on labor and drive an additional 10 to 20% to your top line. Reach out.
Excellent. And thanks, Vaughn. My final thought as we wrap up is, if you're watching this, if you're part of this Travel Trends AI Summit, you're ahead of the game. So thank you for the opportunity to tune in, and we'll turn it back to the next speaker in the program. Thank you all very kindly.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.